What's going on? My name is Michael and welcome to Fudge Muppet. In this video we'll be going on a journey into the Starfield to find some of the coolest side quests in the entire game. If you're a huge fan of BGS quests, then you will love what Starfield has to offer. The main story and especially some of the faction plots are just so good, but then there's those quests you just stumble across as you're out exploring the galaxy that you never saw coming. This video is about those kinds of quests. So Starfield has been called the gift that keeps on giving, and I definitely agree. In my hundreds of hours of playing, I kept thinking that surely I've done most of the side quests now, only for me to find another one and then another one. These quests will not include companion quests and will include side quest chains that cover the same plot. Spoiler warning, of course, I won't be giving you an extensive walkthrough covering every single moment, choice and consequence of each quest, but I'm still going to cover plenty of what you can expect to get wrapped up in and convince you to go play them. And let me know if you want me to cover 5 more quests this good. Operation Starseed is the first quest on our list, and it gives me a lot of Fallout vibes in the sense that it manages to walk the line between serious and wacky. What appears bombastic at first gets interesting and even disturbing real fast. Upon heading to the Charybdis system, which is a level 65 area by the way, you will receive a distress call from a robot requesting help from Charybdis 3. Heading down onto the surface of the planet, you discover Crucible. You won't find this secret place on any official star maps. You're met by a robot named Tobias, who wants 150 pieces of copper. Pro tip, don't do that misc task because the reward is small. The robot has made an error requesting your help. He has revealed the existence of a well-kept secret. A woman runs up to his side to greet you. Her name is Ada Lovelace. If that name sounds familiar, it's because it is. She's an English mathematician from the 1800s. She tells you your arrival is historical, but may lead to trouble. She says the societies are arguing about what to do, and you should speak to Franklin. And so begins a rather philosophical quest, touching on what it means to be human, nature versus nurture, right versus wrong. You soon discover Franklin is former President Franklin D. Roosevelt, or at least a clone of him, and a leader of a group in Crucible known as the Pragmatists. 2 other societies exist. There is Genghis Khan, head of the Renegades, and Amanirenas, leader of the Believers, a clone of the ancient Queen Regnant of the Kingdom of Kush, known for successfully defending Roman expansion into her land. All 3 leaders have their own view on being a clone in terms of how much they believe they are the real figure or not, and each have their own idea about what should happen to those at Crucible. The robots here are programmed to carry out what is known as the mission. They kill anyone who tries to escape, but they favor Amanirenas and her group as they believe in the mission's original goal of forging improved versions of humanity's most powerful leaders. But the robots are breaking more and more these days, and are yet to recognize any clones as reaching their potential, despite them dying and coming back multiple times over the years. Khan wants freedom, and so does Franklin, but he wants everyone in Crucible to have to learn to be self-sufficient first, because so far the robots do the providing for them. The clones are created in a mysterious location simply known as the Facility, far to the east of Crucible. You'll be sent there to explore the horrors within, and it's a super cool location to go through. Ultimately, you must make a choice that determines the fate of the clones. Who will you side with? Why? And what consequences will that bring? You can also unlock the unique companion here named Amelia Earhart. This quest is seriously so cool, and I can't wait for you to see what else it offers. Let me know if you want a full deep dive into Crucible and the mission in a separate video. But Operation Starseed is not the only quest in Starfield that will have you consider what truly makes us human and what is truly fair and ethical. It wouldn't be a 2023 sci-fi game without a quest tackling the problems of AI. Introducing Juno's Gambit. Simply head to the Oberon system, which is located here on the map, and go orbit the planet Oberon 3A. You'll notice what is titled a mysterious ship sitting out in space, and a violent ecliptic ship who seems to be causing them grief. The ship will attack you, and after you deal with it, you'll hear a voice thank you from the ship. As you make your way over to this large mystery, you dock and head on in to find yourself trapped in a rather intense predicament. 2 operatives stand before a dead scientist and what appears to be some giant supercomputing device. Turns out these operatives are from the shady mega corporation known as Ryujin, which if you've joined yourself, gives you special dialogue options when entering the scene. Ultimately, the 2 of them play good cop bad cop on you and demand that you attach a control board to the probe so that they can control and harness what seems to be a sentient AI by the name of Juno. Talking to Juno, you can tell she is aware that these operatives wish to change her. She affirms many times that she does not want to be changed. Ultimately, the dialogue is the best part of this neat little quest quest, and Juno will ask you a few philosophical questions about life, and you can give your thoughts and perspective. You can treat her as another person, or simply as a malfunctioning machine. Who will you help? Will things get violent? And can you trust Juno more than the operatives, as shady as they seem? Your actions will have consequences, so choose wisely. Next up, we've got some turf warfare in the mean streets of Neon. The side quest known as the Audition turns out to be one of 3 quests which wrap up into one plot. Would you like to join a gang? How about one up against the ropes and down on their luck? And no, I'm not talking about the Thieves Guild in Riften, I'm talking about the Ebbside Strikers. If gang operations interest you, or you simply aim to annihilate the newly dominant gang in town, then this quest is for you. I played with the gangster background on my first playthrough of Starfield and strongly recommend it if you want to hit all the quests with vibes like this around Neon. A man warning you about the Disciples gang approaches you as you enter this part of Ebbside. The Disciples are psychotic, they're violent, and they are in control. Their amped up activity is really making life more of a living hell than it's ever been for some of Neon's most impoverished denizens. Somehow they've gotten their hands on some military tech too, which definitely helps them. Unlike the Ebbside Strikers who fleeced their marks but let them live after a classic shakedown, the Disciples are the kind of gang that get a laugh out of stabbing someone who's already handed over their credit stick. Their gang attracts the worst Neon has to offer, and their fear tactics and general willingness to kill has made them a huge problem. The Strikers are now holed up in the bar Madame Sauvage, which I must say plays some very catchy music. They're now an embarrassing shadow of their former selves, but you can audition to join by taking on a task that you can approach with stealth or firepower. I love all the warehouse commercial area shootouts this quest and others have to offer in Neon, and once you're in the gang you get this awesome outfit too. The vendor they have also provides a quick way to buy a wakizashi if that's your thing. Will you stay loyal to the Strikers? Perhaps the other gang might provide you with more to gain. After all, if you're a true mobster, maybe you only care for yourself anyway. Let me know what option you go with in the comments. Next up, we have First Contact. Heading to the Poroma system found here on the map, you will find a strange ship in orbit of the planet Poroma II. And no, don't worry, you're not going to have another rogue AI situation on your hands. The ship is unable to broadcast properly, and you'll also receive a distress call from the planet itself. The planet is claimed by a big corporation, the Paradiso Group, who operate a massive resort on the planet and make some serious coin from tourism. They operate under their own rules and pay no taxes, yet still benefit from being included in official charters registered with both the Freestar Collective and the United Colonies. You see, many of the highest ranking politicians enjoy visits here, so you can see how Paradiso gets to enjoy the benefits of ruling itself and having friends without the red tape and costs other businesses in the settled systems face. The planet itself is really cool to look at. It's very vibrant and clearly the kind of place you'd put a resort. The resort itself has everything you'd expect. A beach area with a bar, a rooftop bar and terrace, its own gym, penthouse suites, food, you get the idea. Tourists even enjoy a scenic tour on the way in, at least they did until now. The path has since changed to avoid them looking at this eyesore of a ship. Anyway, whether you respond to the board of directors first or simply board this mysterious ship, you quickly discover it's full of people who left Earth nearly 200 years ago to escape what the founder of this expedition viewed as an all too definite doom for the planet. They were seen as Earth's final hope and were sent off to arrive at what was the most habitable planet they could locate. During all their slow space travel, they never met another ship until they arrived at Poroma II, their planned destination. It's so interesting to look around the ship and speak to people who have never met anyone new in their lives or even used the grav drive. Entire generations have been born and died here. People don't get to choose the job they work their entire lives, and you're only switched from a role to another one if you're really bad at it or really good at something else. Some inhabitants like their lives and some hate the sameness of it all. The whole place gives me big Fallout vibes. It's like finding one of the vaults. You'll meet Captain Brackenridge and try to broker a deal between the Earth colonists who believe their original claim to the planet is still valid and the greedy board of directors who run the resort. Will you figure out a way to get them moved somewhere else perhaps? Maybe you'll broker a compromise so both parties can operate on the planet. Or maybe you'll say to hell with it all and take a more nefarious route. The choice is yours, rewards will differ. If you're looking to get explosive and high octane for a good cause, then you'll want to head to the Altair system located just over here on the map. This is Groundpounder, a true soldier's quest. While orbiting Altair II, you will hear a distress call alerting you that hostile spaces are overrunning the research outpost there. It's addressed to Freestar ships, and when you arrive, you'll soon find out why. Upon getting to the outpost, you'll have a bunch of violent spaces to clear through before you reach Private Mahoney. You're just in time, and you're not the only one helping. UC Marines are also here, and so far have proved useful in holding off the spaces enough to save some lives. But things are getting bad and fast, and it's up to you to try and turn the tide. One thing you'll notice during the quest is that Starfield can be a pretty intense game at times. There's dead UC soldiers all over the place, slaughtered researchers, and plenty of red. It can be quite the horror scene. You'll engage in multiple firefights to rescue various members of the UC and the Freestar Collective and coordinate the next steps. What I love about this quest, especially playing it early on like I did, is how it introduces you to the two main factions in an action-packed way and shows more nuance to the people behind the badges and uniforms. Ultimately, you will do whatever it takes to repel the spacer attacks and enjoy this rare moment in the game where the UC and Freestar come together in battle and in words to put the war they've had behind them in the name of what is right. Bring plenty of grenades and tons of ammunition. And finally we come to the fan favorite, Mantis. This was a quest I picked up super early on in my playthrough, however it seems that the place you get the slate to start the quest can be found in more than one place. It is a randomized find, however, based on talking to lots of people who have played the quest, it seems that most people find it pretty early on in their playthrough on the corpse of one of many spaces you'll encounter. The slate is called Secret Outpost, and essentially says screw your crew, beg, borrow, steal, kill, do whatever you have to get to Denebola 1B, because there's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity there within a secret outpost. If you don't go, you will regret it for the rest of your life. Quite convincing. So you head on over to discover the Lair of the Mantis, a location crawling with spacers who are all there seeking the treasures within. The place is not only filled with spacers, but ultimately with some traps. As you make your way down further into the lair and kill more spacers, you'll find more slates and more automated messages left behind that illuminate the truth behind the lair and this Mantis character. The Mantis is a vigilante of sorts, a hero of the galaxy who strikes fear into the hearts of spacers, pirates, and the like, teaching them a lesson with the use of some unauthorized justice. As you make your way through and learn more, you will discover that the lair is a secret that has been passed down for over a century. I'll leave the rest of the story for you, but once you figure out how to make your way through this turret room trap without dying and get past more turrets and robots, you will find yourself in this massive superhero-style base where you'll be able to take on the mantle of the Mantis yourself, getting a legendary spacesuit, helmet, and boost pack that not only look unique, but have randomized effects and can be quite useful for an early to mid-game character. By the way, the location Denebola 1B is within a level 30 system, but coming here relatively earlier is definitely possible if you're up for it. In addition to the full set of gear, you will also get the Mantis's Razorleaf spaceship. Just look at it going up to the surface of the planet. Similarly to the outfit, it's useful earlier on if you haven't already gone and bought or built a strong ship of your own. The ship also has a cool armory room inside. It's exactly what you'd expect for a galaxy roaming superhero to have on board. Overall, it's the classic superhero meme quest that you tend to find in Fallout games, and it's very much loved by the Starfield community already, but if you haven't done it or heard about it, then definitely go and do it and discover exactly who the Mantis is for yourself. I should also say that as you fly around in the ship as the Mantis, you can get unique dialogue from spacers, some even cowering before you and offering you credits, or even if you ask, the shirt off their back, which you can take from them. Subscribe for another video going through more side quests you really won't want to miss in Starfield, and like the video if you've enjoyed it. We're going to be bringing you so much more Starfield content like guides, more Starfield builds. We've already got the gunslinger and the pirate builds up, so check those out. Ship builds that show you awesome ships and how to make them, covering all the design decisions and why we made them, looking at both the inside and out. We'll have videos on tips and tricks, and of course videos like this covering all the cool things you'd want to find in the game and have fun playing. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the channel. The link to my Twitter can be found in the description, as well as a link to our Patreon if you want to help support us in making more content like this. My name's Michael, thank you again very much for watching, and I'm going back to play more Starfield.